This is Baby Blue Mind. I walk around the earth and talk about what's on my mind, and I'm doing a quick summary of my concept called the philosophy of active solitude. And this video is for anybody who might be feeling super isolated, depressed, or just like really down in the dumps right now. And it's the process by which I sort of pulled myself up out of isolation, intense isolation and depression, following a near-death car accident in 2023 where I sustained permanent spinal damage and traumatic brain injury. So here's just sort of how it operates from a summary perspective. First, let's define the problem of pure isolation, which will be represented by my fist. There's two prongs and an additional element to it. The first prong is physical confinement in your living space. The second prong is psychological confinement in the four walls of your mind. And the additional element is what I call digital imprisonment on your glowing rectangles. Summary of the problem again. Problem of pure isolation. Prong 1, physical confinement in your living space. Prong 2, psychological confinement in the four walls of your mind. Additional element, digital imprisonment on your glowing rectangles. Okay, that's the problem of pure isolation, how I experienced it and how I conceptualize it. Now that the problem has been clearly defined, I'm going to discuss the solution that I found for it, which is what I call active solitude. Active solitude, because isolation feels like it's being imposed upon you, and to sort of take charge of your isolation, take charge of your life and convert that into solitude, more specifically active solitude, it's going to be an upgrade in the quality of your life almost instantly, okay? And then there's another benefit to it at the end that I will certainly share with you, okay? So, what's the easiest way to get into active solitude? I've been doing it for a little over 2 minutes already, walking. Almost everyone can do it, and it's not terribly physically taxing, okay? And you might say, oh, okay, walking, yeah, everyone suggests that all the time. Nah, it's not as simple as it may appear. It's not just getting out there and getting your feet clicking around and trying to lose 5 pounds. It operates, if you're in that position of pure isolation and depression, it operates on far more psychologically complex levels because you're all up in your own mind right now. That's where the isolation, depression, feeling down is taking place, okay? So, how does walking, getting in the position of active solitude, target the two prongs and the additional element, okay? Remember, the whole purpose is to convert your pure isolation into active solitude. I'm going to describe why that's the case, because it targets two prongs and the additional element. This is pure logic. This ain't woo-woo, this ain't spiritual, okay? So, first prong, physical confinement in your living space, okay? What does going for a walk do? Automatically snaps the first prong of pure isolation, okay? You're up out in the world now, okay? Automatically getting up outside your house snaps prong 1 instantly, okay? When you're up out in the world now, because the world does not take place on your couch or in your bed. You just don't, okay? So getting a walk, now we're up out in the world. We got a little space to play, both physically and more importantly, psychologically, okay? Now we're gonna go directly to the additional element, which is your attention being glued to your glowing rectangles, okay? Getting out for a walk pops you up off the digital rectangles that are consuming your information. The way that I describe it is if your attention is glued to your glowing rectangles, you're living someone else's life. By definition, don't you want to live your own for a change? Taking a walk, you're now living your own life as opposed to other people, observing other people live theirs. Now, how does it defeat the second prong, okay? If you're in the problem of pure isolation, your mind is a stagnant pond right now that hasn't had any fresh water up in it. We need to get you new mental inputs once popped up off the digital rectangles, okay? I'm out here in the world, okay? I've got an interesting sky behind me. Cascading clouds just sort of, punctuated by buildings. I've got this beautiful scenery behind me. There could be even like a storm or something like that coming through. I'm out here in the world. I'm experiencing nature. There's a nice breeze going on. I'm observing palm trees. There's cars, there's bicycles, there's different mental inputs than you would otherwise get when you're confined in your living space on your digital rectangles, okay? Going for a walk, putting yourself into active solitude, converting your pure isolation into active solitude. It targets prong 1, pops you up out the house. Prong 2 gets you new mental inputs. And the additional element by popping you up off your digital rectangles and allowing you to live your own life for a change. Now, what's the ultimate goal of this? And how it operated for me is the following. Pure isolation converted into active solitude through walking. Now, here's how it operated for me. Active solitude operated as the intermediary step to give me sort of the life energy, the war juices, whatever you want to call it. Just get that mojo going again to get back up in the game. That's the whole purpose of this. Because if you're isolated in that position of pure isolation, you're not up in the game. And I've been there before, man, and I know how awful that position is. So I would just invite you to give it a try. Try the walking as a more complex psychological activity other than just clicking your feet around. Pure isolation converted into active solitude might just get those war juices going in you in life to get back up in the game. Because that's the whole purpose of this. And you know why? Because the comeback is the best part of life. The comeback is the best part of life. This is baby blue mind, baby blue like the color, mind like the one I have that's about that isolation and depression and trying to bring you along to do the same. Wish you all the best.